Good evening, students. So today we will discuss about the periodic trend of the block element. In the last lecture I have explained about the oxidation state of 3D series elements. So now moving towards the, as we know, when we move from left to right in the 3D block or any series of the block element, oxidation state increases at the middle from left to right. When we move from up to middle element, the number of showing oxidation state increases, after that decreases. That means the elements of the middle will show maximum number of oxidation state. In the 3D series we get that the common oxidation state of 3D series is +2. Common oxidation state of 3D element is +2, and the highest oxidation state of 3D element are +7. Manganese will show the maximum oxidation state in 3D elements, while if we see this observation in the 4D elements, so common oxidation state of 4D elements, common oxidation state of 4D elements is +3, and the highest oxidation state of the 4D element is +8. It is shown by the ruthenium. Similarly, the highest oxidation state in the 5D series is also +8 for 5D series, and the common oxidation state of 5D series, common oxidation state of 5D series is +3. The highest oxidation state of 5D series is +8, which is shown by osmium. In the middle of the element, number of unpaired electrons are maximum. That's why they will show large number of oxidation states. Now moving the next property, that is the formation of the color complexes. Most of the D block element form colored ion. Formation of colored ion. Formation of colored ion. If any element of D block contain unpaired electron in D subshell, so that will be colored in nature. That means one or more unpaired electron present in the D subshell or D orbital. Due to D-D transition, that means electron will jump from one type of D orbital to another type of D orbital, show the color of the ions. For example, I am telling Zn is 30, and its electronic configuration is Ar 3d10 4s2. If it loses 2 electrons, it forms Zn double positive, and its now the configuration will be Ar 3d10 4s0. In this case, what you are seeing, there is no unpaired electron in D. D is completely filled, so D' transition will not take place. D' transition will not take place, and complexes will not be colored, or ions will not be colored. Complex or ion formed by the Zn double positive will not be colored, not colored. Means it should be white or colorless, white or colorless. So we can say Zn double positive salts are ZnSO4, zinc, ZnCO3, ZnCl2. These all are colorless because they do not contain any unpaired electron. On the other hand, if we will see the Cu double positive, Cu has the electronic configuration Cu29 Ar 3d10 4s1, while in case of Cu double positive you will get Ar 3d9 4s0. So it contains one unpaired electron here. So due to D-D transition, Cu double positive ion will be colored. You can identify any of the element, any of the ion will be colored or colorless by writing the electronic configuration and finding the unpaired electrons. If you are getting one or more unpaired electron in D subshell in case of any ion or neutral atom, that means it will be colored. So you have to do the find the following, whether colored or uncolored, whether colored or colorless. This is a Mn double positive, Fe triple positive, Sc triple positive, V4 positive. You have to find the following ions and tell whether it is colored or uncolored. Now see the next important property, that is magnetic nature. Magnetic nature. Most of the D block elements containing one or more unpaired electron, so they are called paramagnetic in nature. On moving from left to right, when we will move to the center of the series, you will see the number of unpaired electrons will be maximum. So the elements present at the center of any series of D block elements, paramagnetic nature will be very high. But at the ended or the extreme position of the series, that means left side or right side, when you will see the series, so you will get the less magnetic property. They can be diamagnetic. Suppose you are writing the iron Fe26, so its configuration will be Ar 3d6 4s2. In this time it contains 4 unpaired electron. 4 unpaired electron. So it will be paramagnetic and the magnetic moment will be mu is equals to n plus 2. So mu is equals to under root 4, this is n, that means unpaired electron, 4 plus 2. So you have to write 4 into 6, that means under root 24 Bohr magneton. But in case of the zinc, if you are writing the zinc, please write down the Zn30. Its electronic configuration is Ar 3d10 4s2. You have to see that there is no unpaired electron in this case. So what will be 0 unpaired electron? 0 unpaired electron. So it will be diamagnetic. Diamagnetic. And mu is equals to 0 into 0 plus 2. That means mu is equals to 0. That means it's the paramagnetic moment. That means it will be 0. So you can find the magnetic nature or paramagnetic moment of any of the elements or ions. Suppose you want to find the magnetic moment of any ion. I am writing Mn plus 2. Mn plus 2. As you know, Mn has electronic configuration 25AR 3D5 4s2. And in case of Mn double positive, when we remove two electrons, that means this electron and this electron, these two electrons will be removed. So you have to write AR 3D5 4s0. In this case, these 5 electrons are unpaired, 5 unpaired electrons. 5 unpaired electrons. So mu is equals to under root n plus 2. So what you will write? Under root 5 plus 2. So we can write 5 into 7, that means 35. Under root 35 Bohr magneton. At the center of the series, magnetic moment will be larger, while at the end of the series, magnetic moment are less. It may be diamagnetic also. Zinc is diamagnetic, cadmium is diamagnetic. While the elements present at the center like chromium, iron, manganese, molybdenum, they are highly paramagnetic. Now moving towards the next property, that is the formation of the complexes. Formation of complexes. Most of the D block elements form complexes. When you study the coordination compound, you will see that the complex containing a central atom or central metal ion, they belong to the D or F block elements. Most of the D block elements are formed complexes. Why they form the complexes? There are three main reasons. D block elements form complexes because of number one, they have vacant d orbitals. They have vacant d orbitals. Number two, they are smaller in size. They are smaller in size. And number three, they can show variable valencies. They can show variable oxidation states. Due to these three reasons, they can easily form a complexes because they already having the vacant orbital. In that, ligands can accommodate easily. Number second, they are smaller in size, so it will not difficult to form the complex. Number three, they can show the variable valency, so they can satisfy the primary valency as well as secondary valency. Now moving towards the next point, that is as a catalyst. As a catalyst, most of the D block element or the oxide of these metals behave like a catalyst. Suppose platinum, chromium, nickel, palladium, V2O5. You are knowing about these are used generally in the form of the catalyst in the reaction. Catalysts are the substance which can enhance, which can change, which can alter the rate of a chemical reaction. So most of the D block element like platinum, nickel, iron, cobalt, they can be used as a catalyst. Why they are behaving like a catalyst? Why they act as a catalyst? There are three reasons. Number one, because they can form complex. They can form complex. Number two, they have vacant d orbitals. Vacant d orbitals. Number three, they can show variable oxidation state. Variable oxidation state. Due to presence of large number of vacant d orbital, the reactants can be undergo adsorption easily and behave like a catalyst. At the surface of these metals, reactant particles easily attached and the phenomena of adsorption will take place. That's why it behaves like a catalyst. Now moving towards the very important point, that is electrode potential. When any metal is converted into metal ion, electrode potential. When any metal is converted into metal ion, aqueous, it requires three types of energy. Number one, energy that is called energy of sublimation. Energy of sublimation. Sublimation. I am writing with the symbol E1. Then ionization energy. Second is ionization energy, E2. And then hydration energy. Hydration energy. That's mean E3. Suppose you are taking any solid metal, this is solid. One energy is required to convert into gas. This energy is called energy of sublimation. Then second energy, from gas to gaseous ion, gaseous atom to gaseous ion. This is energy 2, that will be called ionization enthalpy. And third one is gaseous ion to aqueous ion. That's mean E3, energy of hydration. That's mean total three types of energy required to convert from metal solid to metal aqueous ion. That's mean the sum, we can say directly this is del E, or you can say total of this electrode potential is equals to E1 plus E2 plus E3, or you can say E0, standard electrode potential from m/2 triple n is equals to E1 plus E2 plus E3. This cannot be regular when we move from left to right. When we are moving from scandium to zinc or in any of the series, we will not get a regular trend that whether it will be decreasing or increasing. There will be no correct order. We cannot say that the electrode potential are moving from left to right, increasing or decreasing, because of every atom has different sublimation energy and ionization energy. Due to different value of these two values, the sum of all these three values will not be in a regular trend. But when we observe the electrode potential of all the elements present in the 3D series, what we observe, 9 elements of the 3D series show the negative value of standard reduction potential, and only the copper is the element which can show the positive value of electrode potential. That means copper has only the positive value of electrode potential, while other 9 elements will show the negative value. Value of copper E0 Cu double positive slash Cu is equals to plus 0.34 volt, while the zinc E0 Zn double positive slash Zn is equals to minus 0.76 volt. So dear student, what I want to explain here, that means we cannot say the trend on moving from left to right or moving from right to left about the electrode potential. Neither we can say increases nor decreases. Due to the positive value of copper electrode potential, copper cannot behave like a reducing agent, while copper cannot replace hydrogen from the dilute acid. One more important thing, that's the lower the value of electrode potential, lower the value of electrode potential, element will be more reducing nature, reducing in nature. That means zinc is better reducing agent than copper, and in this way we can say lithium has the lowest value of standard reduction potential, so lithium is the best reducing agent. Now dear student, moving towards the F block elements. What are the F block elements? F block elements. As you know, in the D block element we have studied, in that I have told when the differentiating electron enter in D orbital, in D subshell, that will be called D block elements. While in case of the F block element, when the differentiating electron enter in the F subshell, they are called F block element. Or you can say the other name of F block element is inner transition element. Inner transition element. Inner transition element. F block element or inner transition elements. There are 28 elements in this block and they are classified into two parts. One is 4F series, 4F series, and second one is 5F series. 4F series is also called lanthanoid series. Lanthanoid series, or this is called actinoid series. So students, in these two series there are 14 elements in every case, and in the next lecture we will explain about the elements and electronic configuration and properties of the F block element. Okay.